Hey guys, it's Cryptoroo here, and today we are going to look at the top 5 cryptocurrencies that are the worst for the environment. So to calculate this, we essentially take the amount of work miners do for a coin in a typical day, which is the amount of terahashes, and essentially the calculation to use for the amount of power is 5 kilowatts is equal to 1 terahash. Also, keep in mind this is based on various estimates from all over the web. Some cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin have ASIC miners, which are specially built just to mine Bitcoin and use much less power. And there are going to be people at home mining cryptocurrency on their graphics cards, laptops, and so on. So let's get into the top 5 coins which have the worst environmental impact in cryptocurrency. In position number 5 is Litecoin. Litecoin uses 480 kilowatts of power a day, which is enough to power 48 average American homes, which is essentially a decent sized apartment block. Now, coming in at position number 4 is Ethereum. Now, Ethereum uses 910 kilowatts of power a day, which is enough to power 91 homes. Now, this is a pretty big size apartment block. Now, this one was quite surprising for me because Ethereum is position 2 in a coin market cap currently. So the second biggest coin is position number 4 for the amount of power it's using. Pretty interesting. Now, sitting at position 3 is Dash. Dash uses 9,600 kilowatts of power a day, which is enough to power 960 homes, the size of a small community. This is interesting because Dash is currently in position 12 of coin market cap. Now, just a quick note before I move on to the next one. All the coins aren't necessarily mineable. Some of the top coins are not mineable and as a result use a lot less power. They use a concept, some of them, which is known as proof of stake. One such example is there'll be a number of trusted delegates in a network. These delegates will process and verify transactions on the blockchain. So this still keeps it decentralized, but essentially uses much less power. In second place is Bitcoin Cash. Now, Bitcoin Cash uses 10 million kilowatts of power a day. That's enough to power 1 million homes, which is a pretty big city. Not the biggest ones in the world, but still a decently sized city. And now, as this crypto craze keeps on getting bigger and bigger, there's going to be more and more people mining cryptocurrency, and the power requirements are going to grow and grow. So this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg at the moment if we don't change something. Now, in position 1, which is probably fairly obvious to everyone here, is Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin uses 85 million kilowatts of power in a day, enough to power 8.5 million homes. This is the size of a massive world-class leading city, or even a population of some countries such as Hungary, Sweden, and United Arab Emirates. It's pretty close to those countries. Now, just think that the power consumed by Bitcoin in a day could potentially power all those houses in those residential countries. So those power requirements, costs, and environmental impact are absolutely insane if Bitcoin is using the same amount of power as pretty decently sized countries. Now, in the description below, I have links to the resources which I used for my best guesses as to how much power each coin uses. I used Coin Wars to essentially grab the terahashes each coin was using per day. And for the power requirements, I've taken it from various sources over the web, because some calculate it on a sunny day scenario where people are using the most optimal hardware to mine cryptocurrency, this would be people running server farms with heaps and heaps of hardware, all the way to mom and pa's running their computers at home mining cryptocurrency. So you can find that in the description below. And this is just a best guesstimate. It's extremely difficult to pinpoint exact numbers, as you can do researching all around the web. And keep in mind that people are going to be using different power sources. Some people might be using renewable energy, which is fine. Others might be on nuclear power, which is a lot cheaper. Some might be using dirty power, such as coal, which is damaging the environment heaps. So just something to keep in mind. The numbers I ran are up on screen now for you guys. And keep in mind all the Lambos people brought with cryptocurrency. Although I'm sure if they can afford Lambos, they can afford to offset the environmental impact, so let's hope they do so. Anyhow, this is why it's important for cryptocurrencies to move away from mining to verify and add transactions onto the blockchain. Ethereum is going to be moving away from mining to proof of stake, which I mentioned earlier. Proof of stake is a concept whereby delegates are voted and they validate the transactions, as I mentioned, or essentially all the nodes on the network can act as a delegate, and once a certain number of them verify the transaction, then that's added onto the blockchain and broadcast as valid to the network. This still keeps it decentralized, but massively reduces the power requirements, and as a result, the environmental impact in turn. So keep this in mind when purchasing cryptocurrencies, because you can indirectly be contributing to the power and environmental impacts of this. And the more popular a coin is, the more people are going to mine it. And this is why the top 5 worst cryptocurrencies for the environment also correlate fairly closely to the top cryptocurrencies in coin market cap as it stands today. Until next time, guys.